Fire, responding number 37 Plains Road for the vehicle fire exposure to the house. Repeating, Essex Fire, 37 Plains Road, crossing to Bolcom Road, the exit 3 ramp. For a vehicle fire in the driveway, proximity to the house. Your timeout, 1710. 6 FM.
Be advised that one pickup truck fully involved.
Welcome to another edition of 911-411. I'm your host, John Planas, Fire Marshal for the town of Essex and Firefighter Paramedic with the town of Guilford. My co-host, Martina Jakober, Sergeant with the Guilford Police Department, and LRB's joining us today.
Hey.
How you guys doing?
Hi. Good, thanks.
Awesome. Well, a lot of things coming up. A lot of things have happened since our last show. One of the things I noticed is you guys got a new sign on the station, which is phenomenal.
It looks really nice.
It's awesome.
Thank you.
It's awesome. Like I drove by and I'm like, wait a minute, that is totally different. That is something that looks, and even the mat in the front door, I was really impressed.
Both
Things are
brand
changing,
new today.
and
Today.
Oh,
wow.
and they have a YouTube channel.
Yeah. Hey,
we're going to be on YouTube. So go to iCRV Radio, do a search on YouTube, and you'll find that they have a channel there with all the latest shows, and our show as well. So check it out. Don't forget to go to YouTube and type in iCRV Radio. So a lot of things, like I was saying before, have come up since the last show. We've had some fires. We've had some dry weather. We've had a lot of things that have happened.
Some dry weather?
Oh, my God. It was... It was like a month or something that we've had.
Longer than
rain.
that.
Yeah,
there was dangerous levels for water supplies.
Yeah, so we had a reduction of 15% in Clinton, where I live, and they asked us to, I have a river that's right next to my house, and literally go walk across the river. Before, you never were able to do that. So
yeah,
it was crazy. So the fire danger was really high, and I had put a ban on any kind of open burning within the town of Essex, and we did the same thing in Guilford. So you weren't able to do any kind of burning at all during that time. So just got a call.
Shades of prior shows right now.
I might have to be going on this.
Jeez.
Anyways, I got to go on
you
this
too.
call.
Yeah.
Listen.
Well, this is what happens.
You want to leave us all your notes?
Yeah, go ahead.
I can read that.
And
I
back to you, Martina.
totally read that. Okay, well, here we go. We're doing the show now. So John's going to go to another emergency, because that's what this show is all about, right? 911-411 emergency information. So here we are.
Well, I'm interested to find out, and we'll wait. Hopefully he comes back. Last time he did not come back. But
I know.
He stayed in touch with us.
Left us high and dry.
But you carried it so well.
Listen, I know. No.
So Guilford Police Department has been out on social media doing a whole bunch of things, which is fantastic. What's the update on your side?
Yeah, so recently we've had a couple of upticks in certain types of crimes, particularly the theft of purses or theft of items from vehicles and theft of vehicles. So one of the things we've been putting out on our social media is about better ways to protect yourself to prevent, some of these crimes. What, now you're going to take pictures of him? Oh, yeah, he's driving away in his emergency vehicle. Yeah. So we have a few of our posts recently. We had an incident over at the Extra Mart where a woman was pumping gas and had the side of the vehicle open, or unlocked, I should say, and a vehicle pulled in, person got out, took the bag off the front seat, took off. That bag actually had like a key fob to her car, and they realized that as they were pulling away. And then you see them in the lot pull back around and go back to the car, but she had already just gotten into the car, so they drove away. I suspect, and what's happened in prior cases is they've driven back around once they realize they have the key, jump in it, and then take off with the stolen
but
car.
She'd already gotten in, so
she'd already gotten in.
Do that. Got it.
So her problem was she couldn't start the car because the keys weren't in it. So and that's when she realized something had happened. So the second issue that we had a couple of days later was middle of the morning, 11 o'clock-ish. Woman was shopping at a local grocery store, ended up putting the cart back at the cart exchange, right? We all do that. And as she's walking back, she was confronted, and the person who confronted her basically just grabbed her purse. She hung on to it, and there was a little bit of a struggle. She ended up getting thrown down. She opted to just let it go, so it didn't go any further. And they left with her purse and used her cards and everything else shortly thereafter. And so anyway, one of the things we wanted to highlight with the Facebook post that we did was she was a very good witness. So she did a great job keeping her wits about her. She was able to give us a very detailed description of the suspects, a very detailed description of the vehicle to include the plate number, which oftentimes in these very critical incidences that happen, these very traumatic incidences, people get what's called tunnel vision, and you focus on just the one thing, and you don't really see the full picture, and you lose a lot of the details that you might want to be able to report to police. So the good thing is that she kept her wits about her. She was completely calm, and she got all the information she needed to get, and we had a good suspect information within minutes of the incident. And we have some very good leads. I can't really give a whole lot more information, but we have some very good leads on the case. And the vehicle had been recovered. Do
I have this correct, that the vehicle had been stolen shortly before?
Just before, yeah. So within 40 minutes before, it had been stolen out of Rocky Hill. And and like with many of these cases, they involve stolen vehicles. So that's one of the reasons why we really push the locking your cars, because it's not only like the vehicles are getting taken to just have a joyride, they're actually being taken to commit other crimes. And what happens sometimes is some of the new policies that people might find for their insurance plans, they're not covering the vehicles the way they would, you would think, if the vehicle is left unlocked or unsecured or the keys are left in them. There's some of them have riders that say, that little fine print that says, if your vehicle's stolen through negligence, you may not be covered. And so they consider leaving your keys in the car negligence. So you have to keep reading the fine line of whatever policy you may have in order to make sure that it's not that you want it covered, but if God forbid you're out loading the groceries in the car or taking the groceries out of the car and you just forget you're making dinner, life gets in the way. Sometimes you forget that you left something there, or you forget you left your keys in the car or the car unlocked, that at least you'll be covered. But some of these people are finding out that that's not the case.
What was amazing about what you guys went ahead and did was that your social media post had a list of 9 things to learn from this incident. The 10th, actually, there were 10 listed. The 10th was, well, if you made it this far, you're actually, somebody that we embrace and appreciate, because you actually care about making sure that we protect our homes, our cars, our families, and,
right,
and ourselves. But the 9 things, I mean, do you, LRB, do you have 9 takeaways from that story as she shared it?
I don't.
Yeah, me neither.
That's a lot.
I could go through them.
Yes,
if anyone's interested. Yeah. So basically, one of the bigger things, I teach a lot of classes for people who just kind of want to learn more about situational awareness and self-protection, and especially a lot to the senior populations. One of the things that we've been talking about for years is to ditch the big purse. Like, nowadays, almost everything we can do from our phone, right? Even paying at the grocery store, we just swipe the phone, everything goes in. You really don't need everything in there. So especially if you're just doing a quick shopping, event. I mean, you're on vacation, whatever, but in most cases, people don't need everything they need in their purse at the store at the time. So the big one would be reduce the size of whatever it is that you're carrying. Yep. If you can't get rid of that purse, if that's something you really need, carry it in a way that's in front of your body and somewhat protected. There are crossbody, so there's various different websites you might find online that would say, oh, this type of purse is better to carry than that type of purse. It's really up to the person. If you are going to carry a purse, you're going to want to make sure that it's in a way that's not going to risk your safety. So if it is crossbody and somebody rips on it and starts dragging you, you want to be able to sure that might kind of come loose easily rather than getting you dragged.
Yeah.
So those are things to consider. But again, I mean, if we can consolidate and go in with a little wallet, and a phone versus a big purse. I mean, we also have a lot of these, people go into the grocery store and they'll put their purse right in the seat where, the children's seats are. And they'll just be browsing the aisles and not even pay attention to the fact that somebody's gone and lifted their wallet right out.
Yeah.
Or anything else, sunglasses, you name it. So what are the other ones I put on there? So have a list of, so if you do have a purse or a bag, have a list of items that you would have in there that you could quickly cancel. So say you have a bunch of credit cards, you want to make sure that you have that somewhere saved so that you can immediately call those companies, or have the apps on your phone, which are great now because the apps for some of those devices, you can immediately put a freeze on the card.
As long as you still have your phone.
As long as you still have your phone.
Right.
So that would be another feature that a lot of people can use. A lot of people we were talking to have chosen to put something like an AirTag or a tile type device. There's various different companies out there that have the little GPS tracking devices, but you can insert that into one of the panels of the pocketbook or the purse or the backpack, so that should it get stolen, you can provide that real-time information to law enforcement so they can track down the bag for you.
Okay, so you called in your post. You said place a tile or AirTag. Are those because those are new names to me? Are they brand names?
So the AirTag goes with Apple devices.
Okay.
The tile goes with
Android.
Yeah, Android devices.
Got it.
And again, there's other types of devices out there. Those are just some of the more popular ones that are out there.
Okay.
And what happens is, they provide, like, I believe AirTag works kind of with Wi-Fi. So anytime it's near someone's phone that it might pick up, or near like a open Wi-Fi somewhere, it'll kind of click to that location where it is.
Well, the way I understand that it works, because the woman who was jogging recently, who just this week, who was abducted when she was jogging, not around here, in Memphis, she, since that happened, they've been saying that if you are jogging and you're out alone, take the AirTag and have it in a pocket, slip it in your bra, somewhere. But the way it works is that it hooks up to a person who's not with you.
Right.
It's like tracking your kids.
Right.
It's one of those kind of devices. So if you have that, and God forbid you are abducted, or the purse, if you have it in the purse, if that's taken, you can see from the phone where that is.
Right.
So they can track you. If she had one, someone would have known where she was.
Right.
So that's how it works.
So they're not necessarily recommended for dogs, but I have one for my dogs.
Yeah.
And I can watch her when she takes off to the neighbors for snacks.
Yeah.
So, there are different purposes. But they're all different devices, but they essentially do the same thing. So some of them have cellular service, some of them don't work off Wi-Fi features. So it just depends on what you need. We had a gentleman whose keys were stolen out of his car, but the car wasn't stolen. And the keys to his car had a tile on it. And we were able to locate those through the tile. So they are beneficial. Some of them are real time. Some of them have a slight delay. But it's something worth looking into.
All right. Is this something that the thieves are on the lookout for, though? I mean, do you have to be,
I think that
savvy about where you put it and hiding it?
Again, I mean, I think I would put it on an insert in one of like, I wouldn't put it hanging off the edge of the pocketbook.
Right.
I would insert it in the side of the lining.
Right.
Easy enough to do. Most people can use a needle and thread and stitch it in there and be done with it. Most of them last for a certain period of time, on the battery life that they have. So that's one. Let's see. The other things about carrying items in your purse. So, I mean, we've kind of hammered this a lot, but you should never really carry your Social Security card or those types of identifying documents in your purse. I mean, unless you're going to the Social Security Administration.
Yes, or your job interview.
Yes, something like that. Yeah, otherwise leave that locked somewhere in your home, in a fire safe or something like that, because what happens is if somebody steals your purse and it has all of those items in it, or your wallet, they now have your driver's license with your name, your address. Well, you're one Google search away from every other bit of information they need, and now they have your Social Security number. So all of those things combined, they could get a house loan, they could get a car loan.
Plus you don't have it to prove who you are.
Right.
You don't have any way to prove.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, that's definitely something we still continue to try to push. And I think it kind of has fallen by the wayside over the years. The Medicare cards used to have the Social Security number as their ID. We finally got that changed a few years back, which was fantastic because, again, we're telling people not to carry it. And here the government is like, carry this card with you at all times.
Yeah.
So it was problematic, but it actually ended up good because they've changed that policy now.
Fraud alerts. Tell me about that.
Yeah. So you can actually do fraud alerts. So again, it goes like essentially through these apps. You can set up fraud alerts on your devices. So if you want to put limitations on your credit cards, how much can be charged, if you are going to charge over a certain amount, it has to be pre-authorized. You can go right into the app and go ahead and make that purchase. A lot of them now have, they have like the unusual charging, and then they go also on time frame. So the credit card companies are getting a little bit more savvy with identifying what's fraud, what isn't. I mean, every once in a while I'll forget to call my bank and say, oh, I'm headed to New York for 2 weeks. It's really me. I'll go there, and literally within, the first time I'm trying to pump gas, my card's locked because I didn't tell them I was traveling. Most of these cards now have like a feature where you can go online and say I have a travel alert or something along those lines. And again, you can set limitations. So also for shutting down, so if these things get stolen, do you want to be able to, again, we've talked about this in past shows, but freeze your credit. So make sure that you reach out to TransUnion, Equifax, Experian, the 3 credit bureaus, and freeze your credit. Now you're potentially a victim of fraud that's happening. And the one good thing about freezing your credit is it's really relatively easy to unfreeze it when you need it. But you can put a fraud alert on there as well. And so essentially you set it up so that if you do need to make any purchases, you have some sort of communication with them to reopen the credit bureau checks and everything like that with your Social Security number. And then, you can shut it right back down. I think when we talked about it in the past with a couple of breaches, like the Anthem breach, which involved a lot of children, really important to freeze kids' credit until they're, adults so that, we don't think about that, right? But they have Social Security numbers, and they have great credit because they have no credit.
Yeah, exactly.
And so if somebody gets a hold of that stuff, a lot of parents still carry all of their kids' stuff. And somebody gets a hold of all that, everything's gone. Yeah. So, and just like that.
You also talked about how awesome, you mentioned it at the top, how awesome this victim was in terms of being aware.
Yeah.
That can't happen that often because you're going to be frazzled. I mean, this had to have been a woman that just was somewhat special, able to kind of just calm herself.
She managed it very well.
Yeah.
Very well. Very impressive. And again, it was kind of a self-preservation. She recognized, okay, I'm not going to keep struggling with this guy. This could be dangerous. I'm going to go ahead and focus on what's important now. What is his description? What is the vehicle description? Which way are they headed? That kind of stuff. And to think that way. I know when officers first responded, she was still trying to have remember the number of there were a couple of witnesses who came up and talked to her. She wouldn't even talk to them because she was remembering the plate number. She was just repeating the plate number.
And she had all digits?
She had everything.
Yeah.
And she ran into there's a nail salon right there. She ran into the nail salon. She asked for a pen and piece of paper, and she just wrote it down so she had it.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Good for her.
So it was a really, really great, for a horrible situation to happen, but really what, came out of it, she shared her story online, and a lot of people, I think better educated for it and are learning about some of the situational awareness that, unfortunately it's a sign of the times, right? And it's not like we shouldn't have ever been situationally aware. This is something that should be standard for us. But, you're out to dinner, you're walking down the street, you're not necessarily watching everything around you, but you really have to be alert. Yeah. Is there strange behavior? Is somebody driving circles around the lot? Is somebody pulling up and then stopping and then going again? So you want to just, unfortunately, be very aware of every little bit of things around you.
Yeah. Well, you know what else you want to do, which you have taught me to do, and I did not do. Just last week, I was driving in Old Saybrook, and I saw gas that was cheap.
Yep.
And I thought, I'm going to go get that gas. So I went up the street at a light, made a U-turn, went back, got to the gas station, realized that I had pulled in on the wrong side, and I thought, I just don't feel right about this. But I ignored that. I turned the car around. I got on the right side with the pump. I still didn't feel right about it. I got out anyway. I locked the car. I did do that. I locked the car. I pumped gas. Still not feeling right about it. Pulled away. And within about 20 minutes, the bank was on the phone telling me that my $34 went through, but so did $126.
Oh, your card got skimmed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Is that what's going on, or is it possible that an attendant is able to look at your card information?
So there should be no way for the attendant to actually see that. It doesn't work that way. But there are devices that sometimes people put, skimming devices, on the gas pumps. And so, we've talked about this before, right. And so it's really important to look for the sticker on the side of the device, the pump, the actual pump itself. There's a door, and if that seal is broken, you can, it doesn't mean there's a skimming device, but I would definitely go to a different pump if that seal is broken, because that's supposed to be the seal that this is officially inspected and there's nothing wrong with this machine. Those skimming devices have become so good. You can barely see them. And what happens now is they put, essentially what they are is they put a device in or on the machine that looks just like the machine itself. It's like a cover. So when you slide your card in, it reads all the data off your card. Yeah. And so then whoever is getting that data uploaded, via Wi-Fi or whatever, is now...
So was that person somewhere near the gas station, or could that person have been in... some foreign country?
It depends what kind of device. Okay. Some of them are proximity, but some of them are, they send out, cellular service so that information gets sent out. So.
And by the way, should she call Old Saybrook Police and say, hey, this is what happened?
I would report it, yeah, because you just never know if that device is going to hit anyone else. So, sometimes it's random, right? So sometimes our cards get stolen, but oftentimes it's so connected to that one event that it's usually connected.
Well, my bank canceled it immediately, and I went and got a new card the next day.
Yeah.
But you know what? I didn't report it, and I didn't think about it then happening to someone else. That never occurred to me.
Right. Well, and it does. It's like kind of one of those things like, oh, well, at least I'm made whole and then I'm going to move on. But it's helpful to get those stories out.
Of course, right.
Just like this woman with the purse who provided such great detail as to what happened. She had posted and it was public, so a lot of people had shared it. And so I could see her account, and so many people were commenting on how good it was that she had shared her story, because they were now thinking about things differently. Obviously you don't want to scare people into going out to the grocery store, right? But it's just about situational awareness. What is happening around you.
And the lesson of listening to your gut.
Yeah.
I just didn't feel right about it, but I did it anyway.
I'm just going to say it because I told her, but I'm going to say it for our listeners. So this isn't, I'm not jumping on the bandwagon here. I never use those. I always go inside to charge it inside. I need to eyeball somebody that's using my card.
Right.
You know, I don't pay at the pump. I always go inside.
Yeah.
Hey, on the one purse snatching, there was one more element. The difference between carrying your keys in the parking lots versus leaving them in the purse.
Yeah, so I mean, think about it. A lot of us who have purses, you know, we throw stuff in there. There's a lot of things. You're looking down. You're trying to get stuff out of your purse to find your keys. You're distracted, one, and two, you really have lost valuable time if something is going to happen. You also have the key fob that has an alarm on it. So if you are being approached by somebody, you can cause attention to your location so witnesses can kind of come and sometimes step in and help protect you. You know, there are other devices that, you know, we suggest. There's mini air horns you can stick on your keychain, which are fantastic because it's not a weapon that is something that can be used against you. You know, like a lot of people say, oh, well, I put pepper spray on my keychain. Well, that's fantastic until the other person gets a hold of the pepper spray. So it's kind of one of those things where you really have to be prepared if you are going to use it to understand what exactly that could result in. But the air horn is a great idea because it actually is a huge, you know, draw of attention, and it'll startle somebody pretty good. So, you know, that's something that we recommend too.
Just want to underscore this. This happened at 11 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, yeah. I think it was a Sunday. It was just, you know, weekend day. Yeah. Saturday or Sunday. I can't remember the date.
If you're just joining us on iCRV Radio, this is 911-411, usually with the tandem hosts of our friend Fire Marshal John Planas, along with Sergeant Jakober from the Guilford Police Department. But as has happened in the past, as soon as we play the theme music...
Yeah, he's out of here.
He's out of here.
He's just out of here.
Martina, you got to do it next time.
He's like, I got stuff to do. I have no time to be here for a live show, right?
He's on a call. The sirens went blazing as he passed by, and we're going to take a little pause in the action. We got more 911-411 with Sergeant Jakober right after this.
Doing good things for a better today and a brighter tomorrow for all comes in all ages, all sizes, and all interests. Hello, I'm Cynthia Clegg of the Community Foundation of Middlesex County. We connect worthy causes with valued donors through support for local nonprofits who make our towns a little bit better every day, through partnerships with small businesses who want to make a difference, through volunteers who reach out and give a hand up, through community members who put their hearts and dollars to work to improve the quality of life for all, now and forever. Even the smallest gift can have great impact through charitable funds that support animal welfare, arts and culture, health and social services, the environment, education, economic security, recreation, and so much more. Learn how you can help our local community thrive. Visit us online at middlesexcountycf.org or call us at 860-347-0025. Live local, give local at the Community Foundation of Middlesex County. Thank you.
Love the CRV, the Connecticut River Valley, as much as we do? Want to hear the stories and cultural nuances, past and present, that are so near and dear to this special part of New England? Well, we have volumes of these stories that speak to our collective arc and cultural intrigue. And you can help us keep these stories alive for you and for generations to come. By becoming a member at iCRV Radio, you will help make local matter. You will help cultivate and preserve our stories and keep our communities connected and celebrated. With membership, which is only a one-time payment of $20 for an entire year, you get a full year of anytime listening access to our entire library of 1,000+ programs and growing. Our programming makes all the life interests of our region so accessible. Celebrate the outdoors with us, myths and legends, museum learning, libraries, lectures, historical societies, gardening, food and beverage, independent music, and so much more. Members also get exclusive member deals, 50% off at our merchant partners, like fantastic area restaurants. Plus, members get a chance to send out an on-air announcement, a memorial or birthday salute for loved ones. It's only $20, that's about a nickel a day, but goes a long way in helping us maintain our mission of celebrating our communities, promoting them, and keeping them connected. Make local matter. Become an iCRV radio member today. Go to our homepage and click on membership for all the details. iCRV Radio is the stream feeding the River Valley where we make local matter a lot.
Hi, welcome back to 911-411 Emergency Information. I'm Martina Jakober with the Guilford Police Department. And my co-host, John Planas. If you're on YouTube, you can see the empty chair next to me. LRB joining us as well. Dave, you're here. So it's one big party.
There you go.
Minus John. So I want to thank you all for joining and coming back to listen. We have a few more things. I just wanted to say on the tail end of that prior conversation we were having about safety and paying attention and situational awareness, especially with the purses. You want to trust your intuition, right? So that number 10 where I was like, hey, you're great for following, and reading all of this, but trust your intuition. If you are in a situation where you're walking out and you're like, wait, this isn't right, get back in the store, give us a call or any police department that's around you and have them come and just check it out. If something doesn't feel right, generally your intuition is spot on. So, and none of us in law enforcement will ever say, oh, I can't believe you called me out here for nothing. You know what? We're so glad when it's nothing, because seeing people be victimized in crimes is really tough, because it's a very tough day for anyone who's going through that. And no matter how much of a shero this woman was the other day with her purse getting stolen, I'm sure it's still a traumatic incident for her. And it's regrettably happened. So that's something to think about. But the other thing I want to talk about is we're having the Guilford Fair.
Woo-hoo.
It's coming up. So this next weekend, not this one coming up, but the following weekend is going to be, I don't even know how many hundreds of years this fair has been going on.
Yeah,
it's like the 450th anniversary or something like that. But it is amazing. I don't know if anyone hasn't been to the Guilford Fair, you definitely got to find your way down there. It's fantastic. There's everything from petting zoo to rides to awesome crafts to just the food. A walk-in, I gained 10 pounds. It is amazing, and it's small enough to be really enjoyable by all families, but it's not so big that you're overwhelmed with everything. So I have to say it's my family's favorite show to go to, the fair to go to. Lots of animals. The Agricultural Society has the animals that go in. You can, see what the cows rate at and the tractor pulls, and it's so much fun. So with that, we have, some traffic alerts because on the Saturday of the Guilford Fair, which is not this weekend, but next weekend, there will be a parade. And that parade, it happens every year for 8,000 years it's been happening. And we're going to close down the green, and we'll have our hours and times posted on our Facebook page and on the town page with those closures, so that people know that once it's closed, it's closed. You might be stuck down at the town docks if you didn't get out in time. So essentially, the road is closed by Whitfield Street and where it splits off with Old Whitfield, because all of the parade route will be coming up from Stonehouse Lane, going north on Whitfield Street, going up north on the north side of the green on Broad, coming back down Park, then going on Boston Street down to Lovers Lane, and then back to the fairgrounds. The parade is awesome. If you can go down there, there's tons of, really cool floats, and you get to see all the people from the town and friends and neighbors and strangers and pets. Oh my God, how many cute dogs we see at the fair every year. I mean, I'm a dog person, but it's so much fun, and it's just such a great community event for everyone. While it's a lot of work for us in law enforcement, it's really an enjoyable time.
I just want to make one note, and because we re-rack and replay this episode, so some people may not be listening to us live. If you are, it's the 8th right now of September. We're talking about the September 16, 17, 18 Guilford Fair.
Yes. So
the parade of the 17th.
Of 2022. Yeah. Depends on how late you're reading. So, so the fair on the 16th, 17th, and the 18th. The 17th, the morning of the 17th, will be the parade. So kickoff time, we give you, I think, up to 15 minutes before kickoff to kind of get out of the area if you need to. But after that, you're stuck with us. And you're stuck with seeing lots of cool floats and lots of happy kids. And
got to ask you, favorite food at the fair?
You know, I love a good turkey leg. I do. And fried dough. I mean, with sugar.
Yeah.
I'm a sugar fan versus the sauce fan.
Yeah.
But there's so many good things. There's all sorts of types of foods that are there. Pizza, I mean, you name it. Gyros. I mean, gyros are huge in my family.
Yep. Everybody
goes for that. The lamb gyros. Delicious.
Pretty good.
So, tons of great food. And, but it's going to be a really, really good event. And that's all I got on that.
Yeah. So I gotta ask, we covered that last time we were hanging out together, but more of these driving the wrong ways have happened.
Yeah.
And you were really kind, and if it's okay, if we could reinforce the fact, because look, you're a mom.
Yeah.
And you have youngsters that can drive now.
Yeah.
And what do you tell them in terms of expecting the worst or being prepared, or what can we do in these for nighttime driving? Scares me just in general, but I'm older, et cetera. The youngsters probably don't get it as much. What are you telling your youngster about driving at night?
So, I mean, my biggest I'm always explaining to him when there's no vehicles coming, make sure you're using your high beams. One, we're coming up on deer season, right? So we're not even talking about railway drivers, but we're coming up on deer season, right? So November 1st, late October, with the seasons being all out of whack, you never know when it's going to happen, but is the deer rut. So these deer are going to be running, lights and sirens through every street in Guilford, and vehicles all year long, but specifically these time frames of the deer rut to just destroy cars. So keeping the high beams on to keep alert. So one of the ones, the wrong way drivers that was in Guilford on 95, the report was that he did not have his headlights on. And if they had their high beams on, they may have seen him sooner. It was coming over the crest of a hill, so it may or may not have helped. The other thing I have told my son is if he's coming up on the highway and somebody's coming on his lane, to pull to the right as far as he can. Generally, those people believe they're on a two-way road, so they're going to stay to the right. And so if you stay to the right, they're less likely to make contact with you. It's not 100%, but it's definitely something.
Yeah.
If you could pull off into the grass, even better.
I was going to say, that's what I've told my kids. Pull off as far as you possibly can go. Whatever that means,
right.
Pull off.
Yeah, I mean, in a lot of these highways, it's just the guardrail. So you know, but
true.
If you can, that's the way to go.
Yeah.
It's definitely it's still very problematic. The question is, why is it increasing so much? Does it have to do with more people using other medications, other illicit drugs, other legally recreational drugs, in addition to alcohol? All of those things combined, have been very problematic for many facets, but including this.
Yeah.
And so it's really important to, I strongly encourage my son to not drive at night, to be perfectly honest. But we're coming also on daylight savings time coming up, in the fall. So it's going to be dark at 4. And when that happens, we have a lot of people who are going to be out in the dark.
You're working on how many hours of sleep?
2 solid. 2 hours and 10 minutes. Let's not sell it short.
I got to ask, are you guys still hiring?
We are. Yeah. We constantly have like an open lateral hiring. We're definitely looking for good people and people who are very interested in community and creating a better environment for the Guilford community. And we have a lot of great people that work for us and a really great organization in to include the town and the community. It's a very supportive community overall, especially for the police department and the fire department. So we're very, very lucky. Other places across the country don't necessarily have the kind of support we have. So we do our best with programs like this to try and get the word out and connect with the community on different events. Like, with the purse snatchings, we're doing a talk at the Guilford Community Center coming up on just personal safety, and we're organizing some different programs for people to learn a little bit of safety for themselves. So, it's all about connecting and making sure we keep people safe.
If people wanted to reach out and follow, and be a part of Guilford Police Department, Facebook may be the best place? Yeah,
we also have the applications open on Police app, and if there are lateral officers that want to come to Guilford, they can reach out to our chiefs and talk to them directly about lateraling over. So, yeah, absolutely.
You did it again, Sergeant.
All by my lonesome.
I know.
But not, because I had the two of you to run me through this.
You rock. Sergeant Jakober, handling 911-411 solo.
Yeah.
But we appreciate the service also of our Fire Marshal and Firefighter, John Planas, who is out helping people
I think he's just scared of my success here. Right?
Awesome.
That's got to be it.
Sergeant Jakober, thanks so much for being part
All right,
of
take
iCRV
care.
Radio.
Thank you. Stay safe and lock those cars.
Affirmative, we're good. Everybody has been evacuated from the house. This is a one-story structure.
Roger, 6 I'm confirming the one-story building has been evacuated.
Valley Show 601, water and fire. Fire is contained to the vehicle. Building is protected.
Water on the vehicle. Fire